Welcome back to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nesi. Earlier this month, Governor Chafee gave his annual State of the State address, and he used the opportunity to share his thoughts on Rhode Island's job market. Here's some of what he had to say.
By nearly every measure, Rhode Island is on the upswing. The last employment report showed all of the factors examined: unemployment rate, unemployed residences, employed residences, labor force, and Rhode Island-based jobs moving in the right direction. Since I took office in January of 2011, we have created 11,100 Rhode Island-based jobs.
So, 7 years after the economic downturn started, how is Rhode Island's job market doing? We decided to take a closer look, and we're going to show you the 5 charts you need to see to understand Rhode Island's job crisis. Let's start with the statistic Governor Chafee highlighted there, the number of jobs based in Rhode Island. 11,000 new jobs sounds impressive until you put it in context. Take a look at this. Back in December 2006, we reached a record high in Rhode Island with just shy of 500,000 jobs in the state. Then came the Great Recession. By the time local payrolls bottomed out in August 2009, almost 40,000 jobs were gone. And even though more than 4 years have passed since then, as of now, the number of jobs in Rhode Island is still down by almost 26,000 compared with before the recession. Experts now say the number of jobs in Rhode Island may not get back to where they were before the recession until the year 2018, which would be more than a decade after the job losses started. It's a very different picture across the border in Massachusetts. On this chart, Massachusetts is in red and Rhode Island is in blue. As you can see here, while Rhode Island jobs are still nowhere near their 2006 level, in Massachusetts they already have more jobs today than they had before the recession. So those are the numbers on jobs, but what about Rhode Island workers? There's a difference. After all, Rhode Island residents could be going across the border and working at jobs in Massachusetts, even if job growth is weak back home. Let's start with the most familiar statistic on this, the official unemployment rate. If you're a glass-half-full type of person, you can see some room for optimism here. Rhode Island's unemployment rate is down from nearly 12% back in early 2010 to just over 9% now. So far, so good. But now look at this. This is a less familiar statistic, but it's an important one. Economists call it the employment to population ratio. Basically, it just tells you how many of the state's adults have a job. And as you can see, it doesn't show much sign of improvement for Rhode Island. Back in January 2007, just before the economy started to slide, more than 65% of Rhode Islanders were working. Now, 7 years later, it's down to less than 60%. That's the lowest level since 1983, when Joe Garrahy was still governor. In fact, one of the key reasons Rhode Island's unemployment rate is down today is because so many people have stopped looking for work. In other words, if the share of adults seeking a job hadn't dropped over the past 7 years, Rhode Island's unemployment rate would be 14% today. Now, in fairness, there's some debate nationally about why that employment to population number is down. It's possible some of it is because the population is aging. If more of the population is over 65, you'd expect fewer people to be holding down a job. Which brings us to our last chart. No disrespect to our 55-year-old viewers, but economists call workers between the ages of 25 and 54 prime age. These are the people you expect to have a job, and Rhode Island is losing them. The bar on the left shows the number of prime age residents in Rhode Island in 2006. The bar on the right shows how many were left in 2012. Rhode Island lost 1 in 10 of its prime age residents, 46,000 people, during those 6 years. So while Governor Chafee is selling an improved unemployment rate, Rhode Island still has a long way to go to get back to full employment. And that's all for this week on Executive Suite. Be sure to tune in next week when my guests will be the chairman and CEO of Twin River Casino to talk about how their new table games are doing and why they just bought a casino in Mississippi. If you missed any of this episode or any other episode, you can catch them all on our website, WPRI.com. I'll see you back here next week on Executive Suite.